It's tea time, 11:30 a.m. on Sunday. Welcome. All right, here we are. It's April 15th, and it's welcome to Tea Time with Matt Swift. I'm here this morning actually in front of a live studio audience, so we may get some participation from that here eventually. So, and then today we're gonna be talking about Genmaicha, which is a Japanese green tea with roasted brown rice. And then we have some other stuff going on here. We have some accoutrement again. I guess this show has developed some accoutrements that come with the show. So today, I guess, since I'm talking about a Japanese tea, I figured I would demonstrate my daily Enso practice that I do. Enso is a calligraphy technique of doing kind of a spontaneous circle that is done. Lots of people do it for different reasons. The main reason is kind of as a meditational start to the creative process. So we'll demonstrate some of that. That's what this is for. And like you got some ink over here. And of course I couldn't find, I think I took my calligraphy brushes to work because I have like a board at work that I use to do that. And so I have this very large very large calligraphy brush, which will be fun. We'll demonstrate that later. A friend gave this to me. She had an ordered specialty just for me for my birthday a few years ago. So Lauren Barrett, she ends up watching this show. Like, we're going to demonstrate using this massive calligraphy brush today. So I'm going to go ahead and move my Tibetan bowl out of the way here, so we have some more room. All right. And then we got hot water going already. So this is the Genmaicha, and this is actually a slightly varied version. It has matcha tea added to it. A few different, they may call it a few different things. This specific one, you can buy it here in Columbus, Ohio. You can probably buy it at most Japanese, Asian stores. There's a really good Japanese store we have here over in the Upper Arlington, Grandview area called, what is it called? Tensuke. So you can go over there and you can purchase this. They call this imoncha. So the reason is because it's green tea, and then it's the roasted brown rice, and then it also has matcha in it, which is a powdered green tea. The cool thing about this product here is it actually has some little things on the back that tell you the ingredients. So we have the green tea, which is the ryukucha. And then you have the brown rice, which is the irogome, and then you have the matcha down here at the bottom. Those three things together get you what you have. You also have some brewing for hot and cold on the back, which is very nice. Most of it's in Japanese, but some of it is in English as well, so you can kind of follow along. So I'll probably end up doing some other green teas eventually. The thing about green teas, you don't do them as hot as the black teas and stuff we've been doing so far. Depending on which green tea you're doing, you would do between 70 and 80 to 85 degrees Celsius. This is something I hadn't mentioned yet. So I keep saying 90 degrees. It's because I'm speaking in Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So if you go to a tea shop and you say, oh, I want my tea steeped at 90 degrees because this silly guy on Facebook said this is what you should do to not scorch it. No, I mean, 80 to 85 ends up being about 170 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's the transition there. My kettle actually works in Celsius. Just easier to deal with. It's probably about the programmable numbers on top of the tea kettle. They don't have enough room for it, and you'd be dialing numbers up and down the whole time. So today we're going to, this tea is recommended to brew at about 80-85. I'm going to go for 80. There are some tricks you can do here to make that happen. Typically, they say, like, if you bring the water just to a boil, right, is what I've been saying, it'll be right at that 90 degrees Celsius. What most people don't know is if you then take that and you pour it into a cold cup, that's about 10 degrees difference. So if you take 90 degrees and you pour that into a cold cup, that will be now 80 degrees. And then if you then pour that into another cold apparatus that will be 70 degrees most likely. And that's when you're looking at a Japanese tea ceremony, you might see where they have the boiling water and they pour it into one thing and then they pour it into another. And that's because they're getting the water to the right temperature to brew the green tea. So that's a nice little tip for you. Luckily enough, I've got 80 degree here. So the really cool thing about this tea, let me see, I'm going to try to get some out here. I'm going to brew a whole pot. That way maybe we can share or something. I don't think we brought mugs down for everybody to share, so that might be a bit of a disappointment for people. But let's go ahead and do enough for a whole pot here. I often don't brew this much. Let's see here. Cool, I've got my handy little user, my measuring thing here. Ooh, that was nice. There's like a powder. See that powder in the bottom? That's the matcha powdered tea. That's going to be super nice when that comes out. So go ahead and put this down here. I'm just going to slowly move things off the table so that we can do some other stuff as that happens. Let's pour this in here. All right. Woohoo! Getting better at my like pour things in front of the camera. All right. So let's go to about halfway. There we go. All right. I'm not going to add any more water to that. So I'm actually going to go like this and go, ta-da! And move more and more things off the table. All right, cool. There we are. So now you can kind of see some other stuff going on here. Sweet. As a little treat today, we actually have a friend of mine gave me some of these. This is green tea and wasabi peanuts. These are very tasty. They got a little bit of spiciness to them. As we all know, I'm a sensualist. I really enjoy this stuff. It tastes really good. It's very spicy and sweet at the same time. So the cool thing here, I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of this out. Right, so the Genmaicha, it's the green tea, and this one has matcha powder on it, but it's maybe a little hard to see in there, but you can see there's, if I separate this out right here, there's these two little nuggets in my hand that are, and then there's the green tea. Right, this is the roasted brown rice, and then here's the green tea, and it adds a slightly different flavor to the tea, and it adds a little bit of a sugar content and some other stuff in there. And this tea was kind of called the people's tea. Some people jokingly call it kind of popcorn tea because it has kind of a nutty popcorn flavor to it. And I just put all that tea in there and then I just dipped it right back on my table. That was pretty nice. So, and it's also maybe just called like poor people's tea as well. And the reason for that is because in times of hardship, when things were scarce, you know, green tea could be rather expensive, and so they would roast the brown rice mixed with the tea, and that would act as a supplement for their diet. So if you woke up and you had a little rice for breakfast and no more food the rest of the day, and you have a cup of this, and it would kind of help sustain you a little bit because of the sugar content and other things that you get from the brown rice being in there. I will actually sometimes, if I'm just feeling like I need to maybe fast a little bit for a few days or something, I'm feeling a little off, I'll take some of this and I'll make it in little tea bags, and I'll just throw some and make some cold brew and just have a cup, and I'll drink, I'll just spend the whole day kind of drinking this tea. And it keeps you satisfied pretty well. That's pretty nice. So we're going to let that steep for just a few minutes there and let that happen. This is one of my favorite teas. It has a nice light flavor to it. Like I said, I'll use it if I want to drink something and not have to worry about eating so much. Most green teas and things like this, they go really well with seafood. So, one might normally think that that's the case because you think Japanese tea, also sushi, and all the other seafood that they eat. It just, it's light. It doesn't add a lot of flavor. that's so robust it would over empower anything. But you know, the brown rice in here adds that nice little sweet, nutty flavor, which is really good. I'm excited. I'm distracted. It's like getting greener and greener and yellower as we go. So I'm probably going to end up pulling the infuser out of this one, because if you do leave this in there too long, this one will actually, you know, it'll start to go brew too much, and it just kind of ruins the flavor after a little bit. So try another one of these little things. They're very tasty. I'm not really going to add too much to this tea today. So we got some honey here. The honey that I've been using is this local honey shop. I'll go ahead and give a little bit of plug for them again. It's from Williamsport, Ohio. HoneyRunFarms.com. This stuff's pretty good. You can pick it up at like Lucky's, Whole Foods, other kinds of like health food shops and stuff. And it's HoneyRunFarm.com. You can check them out. It's a very good flavor. I might put a little bit of that in there. I especially have like a smaller cup. This isn't necessarily the best pot to brew this in. I'm going to point that out because somebody's probably going to log on to the show and go, why is he brewing it in that pot like that? It doesn't really hold the temp. You want it to be of a certain temp, and so something like a cast iron kettle or something would hold that temp a little better. And then you would drink it out of these small cups. And one reason is that you would drink it out of the small cups because the temperature is really important to the flavor. So if you have a whole big cup of tea, you know, you pour it in there, it's kind of hot by the time you get to it, and so that you can drink it, you know, it's starting to cool. By the time you get all the way through that cup, it's cooled too much, right? And so the thing is about tea is they would take this, they would brew it, and then they would pour some in, they let it sit for just a few minutes, let it cool down naturally, and then you just drink some of the tea, pour more, let it sit. And so you keep pouring it out of the pot so that it stays hot in the pot. So we'll give that just another minute or so here. Do we have any questions or anything from the audience or anybody talking to us today?
We just have a couple good mornings, and Simon just finished a cup of regular green tea.
Woohoo! So regular green tea, like Japanese or Chinese, I wonder. So we'll have to see, because there are differences in the kind of leaf that you're dealing with. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this out now, which will be kind of hot and precarious. Ooh, you can smell that. Do you smell it? I can smell it over here. There's our live studio audience over here. So get an applause or a hoop and a holler. Woo! Yeah! So our good friend Danny Bean is over here spectating the show today. We're going to be doing a little something afterwards, so I figured it'd be nice. Oh, this is cool. Man, I kind of want to... I wonder if I can, if the camera can see any of this. Try to not make a mess. So it's... See where the light is. There's the light. All right, cool. So you can see that the rice in there has really popped up inside of here. It's a lot bigger than it was. The water makes it sprout a bit as the leaves sprout as well. So, cool. All right, let's make some of that happen. Put that down there. All right, let's get a little cup of tea. It's nice and yellow. You see, I guess it's around the same color. It's a little bit lighter in the cup. It's the right temperature. Oh, that's good. You don't even need to like blow on it or make sure it's not too hot. It's just right. Got a little bit of steam coming off of it. I'm slurping it, which is bad. Shouldn't really slurp it. But you slurp noodles, you don't slurp tea. There's a difference there. If you don't know about slurping noodles in Asian countries, you should look that up. We don't really slurp noodles here. They slurp their noodles there. It's a sign of enjoyment. So, this tea is so nice and light. Like, it's just a subtle flavor. It's so good. It adds a little bit of that roasted nut flavor in the background. I'll try one of these with it so we can get some spiciness going. And there's matcha on the outside. There's salt as well. Okay. That's really good. Cool. Well, in the meantime, I think I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit more of this so it can, like, stay hot. Alright, cool. And then I'm going to move my tea over here. Alright. Ah, cool. And then we'll move our wasabi nuts. We'll bring those back. They're very tasty. Also move our honey and stuff too, just to be safe. Alright. And then,
Sean would like you to save some for him.
oh yeah, well, we might have somebody else coming today, so I can always make a lot more. So, we got plenty. Put my tea down there. Cool. So, I'll go ahead and do a quick demo here of this Enso process. So I do a lot of different kinds of artwork, mostly known for some video art, but I started out as a landscape and portrait painter and some other stuff, and then had to kind of give that up for various reasons. But I still do a lot of it to help inspire other stuff. So, you know, for a while I was doing it every day. Now it's just every so many days. But I'll do what's called an Enso, and that's E-N-S, and then it's O with the line above, the accent above the top, so it's a longer O. And so, I'll go ahead and demonstrate that here. So I have this cool little device. I actually, I got this at IKEA. This is really great for artists who are like doing sketches and other stuff. You got this nice reel of paper that rolls out. You got these two little things on either side here that, like, you can have brushes here, you can have other stuff here, right? And once you roll it out, you can rip it off by, like, holding this down and rip it off or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and use this bottom rung here as a weight, right, to flatten all this out. I'm going to have to take drink some more tea while I make this happen. Cool. All right. And then now I should be able to, there you go. Nice flat piece of paper there. Cool. And then typically you could grind your own sume ink from a stick, and then you know, get the water right. You could get the consistency that you want for your sume ink. This is store-bought Japanese sume ink. I mean, it's super strong. So, like, you would have like an angled device so that it kind of could sit up and drain to one end, so you could control, like, you could drag the brush up into it and get the amount on the brush you want. There's a whole thing that you can look up, sume ink painting. Just for the sake of this and cleanliness and being able to move stuff around quickly, I have like this baking pan that I use for a lot of art stuff, and primarily I use it for this, because it comes really, like, I've put ink in here a ton of times and it just comes right back out, like there's no ink left in here. So it's very nice. This stuff, I mean, is potent. You get a drop of this on anything, it's black. Done. Like, you're stained. There's no way about it. Alright, so we'll put a little bit in here. I mean, you can see that. I mean, it's black. See how much I can get in here, because I'm going to need enough for this brush. Hopefully that's enough. This is a big brush. I could water this down a bit. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as is. Got to set that aside. Get some tea. The smell's really good too. That's very tasty. I might put a little bit of honey in here, just for people who like that kind of thing. And of course, I didn't bring my stir stick. I'm just all kinds of backwards today. I'm forgetting everything today. It's been a crazy day. Do I have one down here already? No, I'm not using a Sharpie. Someone's holding a Sharpie up to me. I'm drinking it, so I'll just drink it. The honey will be a nice little essence of honey in the bottom, in the last little bit. That's still a little hot. Gotta let that sit. Alright, cool. Here's this massive thing. I added the orange. That's my thing. I have orange ribbons on all kinds of stuff. I do these huge meditational wall scroll paintings, and they're all hung with an orange ribbon. I have like tons and tons of yards of this stuff. It's weird. Anyways, all right. So let's get some more. See if I can get some more paper over here a little bit. Move this. Try not to like drop the ink everywhere. All right. We're gonna put this in here. Okay, here's this black ink. Let's kind of see if I can get it. See, that's like super dark. Look at that. Whew. It's dark. All right. So, actually, I need just 1 second. Hand me that. There's a behind there. There's another piece of paper there. Yes, some scrap paper. I'm just gonna put a little bit of scrap paper underneath of here. There's like a few sheets. This is like so that I don't make a giant mess everywhere when it bleeds through. All the stuff in here. All right, cool. Hanging off the edge. There we go. Now, it'll absorb through better. We don't have to worry about it so much. All right, cool. And then, let's see here. Can I get it to kind of all go down in the far side? I may need to give that a second. So that it can all drain to one end before I can get started. There we go. You can kind of see it there, all kind of like down to one side. Let's try this tea. See if it's warmed, cooled down just a hair. Honey's good in there. I didn't quite put enough for it to react too much. It just adds a little bit of sweetness. Oh, there we go. It was in the bottom. That was nice. Oh, okay, cool. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some honey in first, alright? So then the pouring of the tea actually gets you a small little combination. In there. Right. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Give that a little swirl. We got any like questions or comments from the gallery at this point?
Not really.
Yeah. All right,
No.
cool. You can see the ink is like drained down. That was cool. Like there's not as much up there anymore. All right, cool. I'm gonna stand because this works better this way, so you won't be able to see too much. I'll try to stay kind of hunched down a little bit so you can see some like crazy out of the camera. So see if we can get some on the tip here. This is a very large brush, so I'm really trying to get it in the ink here. This is going to be rather amusing. I've done insos with this brush before, but it is hard to get enough ink on it. It's a little crazy. Okay, so yeah, drag it up, get it spread out. Try not to hit my head on the microphone while I'm standing here. And let's splatter ink all over the paper while I'm at it. That'll work. Alright, cool. Make that happen. Alright. Small confined spaces. Demonstration of stuff. This is going to be crazy because the brush is so big that it's like not going to... it's going to splatter. It's going to be a pretty loose inso, I think, at this point. Because I don't feel like getting my hands dirty and wet and covered in ink at this point. Let's see if I can get a nice tip formulated.
Sean says the bandit would be impressed.
Oh, yeah? The bandit? I don't know who the bandit
I'm
is.
assuming child.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, that is a giant brush.
Yeah, it is a giant brush. So I get a nice little tip on there. Because then when I push this down, it's going to be an issue.
Audience question.
Yeah.
So, what type of hair, do you know what type of hair that brush is made out of?
I am not entirely sure. It's kind of crazy, though, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
got some color to it and other stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Some of that color might be my fault.
Yeah. I was going to say, it looks almost kind of like a type of horse hair.
Yeah, it does. It does look like a horsehair. And it sheds. I
Yeah.
mean, it comes off. There we go. Nice, huge, big brush. Got a lot of ink on there now. Right, yeah, that's going to work good. Alright, this is going to be a little crazy. It's all about getting into a state of mind. And then picking your start point. I think I'm going to start on the right this time. Fill on the right side. And this thing's heavy, dude. It's very heavy. Alright. Let's get this started. Alright. Try not to make a mess. Try to pull this out. Put this back in. Hold this down, roll it back just a hair. Ta-da! Right. Nice little cool circle thing. It's lots of fun. It's especially like this area over here. Like where the brush begins and ends. Like look at that like really cool little like splatter pattern that happens there, and then the streak that happens. So that's a nice big Enso. So lots of fun. So people feel free to play with that kind of stuff. Stuff's not very expensive to get. I think this roll of paper is, I don't know, like $10 or something like that. It's fairly expensive. $5. $5 for this big roll of paper. So I wish I could pin this to the back, hang it there for a minute, but I'll just set it down for now. So, anyways, all right, cool. So there's all that mess. Could probably do a little bit more with that and have some fun with it. I don't know. I might kind of like get some of this excess off my brush here, just like, you know, make some circles. There's still a lot of ink on there. That's a lot. I mean, some cool stuff. Do you want to try it, audience member?
I'll give it a shot.
Make a circle. Yeah, that's what we'll do. It's just audience participation time. Oh my gosh.
Woo!
So let's roll out a piece. There's still a lot of ink on here. So
Amarin Nicole Sage compliments your circle.
nice. Cool. All right. Yeah, there's still probably enough on there. Just make sure you give it a good push. All right. Okay. And then I'll scoot over a little bit.
All
there you go. If you can go from the corner. Here we go. And just like pick a spot. Hold the paper down.
Gotcha.
All right, and then just pick a
audience member.
Yeah, there we go.
I do have a head.
Woohoo! All right. Yeah, just give it a shot and then go in a circle. Sweet. He did a completed one.
Yay!
Awesome. Sweet. So you can choose to connect it, or you can choose to leave it open, right? And it kind of means two different things. So you can look that up. There's a whole thing about Ensos and stuff. I'll take the brush there and put it down so we don't make more of a mess. Okay. And then the connection means something very specific about life and comment. Cool. Yeah, Nikki's posted a thing about Ensos up there. I won't butcher it. I've read about all this stuff. But it's 11:30. I haven't had it. The thing about green teas, Japanese green teas, is it's not like I'm like jacked up on caffeine at the moment. So look at that. I like that one. That was nice. I like that. The thing about that big brush is like if you don't put a ton of ink on it, you get these nice patterns. And you can see how the outside lines move from that. Like so, this set of lines here. See if I can go with the camera. I got to practice my weatherman technique. So these lines were originally kind of out here, and it crosses over. You can see this line right here. It kind of crosses over, and it switches sides because the hair's moved and stuff. So that's pretty interesting.
See, what kind of reminds me of is it reminds me of an iris in the eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So cool. Awesome. So Danny can get to take that. He can keep that and take that home with him. There you go. So I'll move some of this mess and we'll get back to tea. That's a lot of fun. So have some fun with tea time. Anyways, All right, try not to dip that into black ink. So, all right, cool. And then we're back. And this tea is probably nice. Awesome. Hey, go get 2 cups. Our camera person and Facebook monitor is gonna go get a few cups so we can share some of this. Grab a stirrer too. I just said grab a stirrer. She's like, ugh. Demanding.
I'm slave driver.
I'm so demanding. Get some stirrers and some cups. Why did you not have all this ready already? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, that's another cool thing. I'm all about the circles, right? So, like, my artwork I do is very circular, geometric base. You know, I do these ensos. This singing bowl here. Where did I put the other part of it? There we go. Cool. The singing bowl is all about circles as well, right? So this thing, right? You do circle around it. And so I have all these. I have tons and tons of things that I do to practice circle making. So let's get some tea for everybody else here. Let's get some nice tea. Let it pour it through the air a bit so it can cool. I can see that steam rising off of that. Should be good. There we go. Some tea for the audience. And then we also got... Is this for you, Nikki?
Do what now?
Is one of these for you?
I don't know.
You brought 2.
No, I'm making you double fist.
Oh, yeah.
You told me to bring 2.
Double fist and green tea. So we got lots of tea here. Now, I wouldn't add too much honey to this tea if you're going to add some honey to it. It only needs a little bit. If you add too much, it's just like a cup of hot honey. Which, that's not bad. But why bother putting good green tea? This stuff here isn't entirely inexpensive. Like, I think this was like $8-9 for this. Maybe, I mean, that's not terrible. But it's, I think it's like, maybe it's like $10, I think. I mean, you look at it, you're like, oh god, $10, bag of tea. But it'll last you for a while. You really don't need much in it. And it's a good, nice tea, and especially like if you're looking to curb your appetite and other stuff, and you'd want to use tea to do that, which I do. Because like you can see on this show, oh my gosh, I have not had enough of these. I have a problem with food and drinks and stuff. So, oh my gosh, there's more noises happening. Uh-oh. So, I'm gonna move this out of the way. I hear footsteps and things happening. Oh my gosh, there's another audience member has shown up. So, there's a seat there.
Here to draw circles.
Yeah. So now we might need a third cup. I don't know. So, cool. So we have another person here. You want to poke your head into the scene a little bit? Oh my gosh, now there's somebody else. There's all kinds of people coming to actually join in tea time today. We'll have to have some tea for our friend Sean here. So
You can definitely taste the rice in this.
you can, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get you a cup so you can try some. So we're doing a table reading later today. So Danny, who did the Enso here, he another thing of tea here, and he has a short film that he's going to be making soon, and we've done a few table reads, and we're doing a final table read that we're going to record right here in the studio after all the tea is gone. And Sean's going to help us do that. There you go.
Delicious.
Itadakimasu.
Danny, do you remember what that means?
Oh, of course he does.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Hi.
とても美味しいです。
So, I know just enough Japanese to not.
I think I ordered that last night.
Yeah. I know just enough that I can read the romanized characters on the back of a bag and not sound really horribly bad at pronouncing it.
American.
So yeah. So irigome, like irigome, irigome. Right. So, and itadakimasu it's kind of like a I will enjoy, thank you for the food kind of thing that it's a thing that in Japanese culture they say before eating and drinking, in an appreciation of what the sustenance they're about to. Ah.
I feel like I walked into the wrong room. I haven't understood anything yet that's going on.
I've learned there's a great on WSU. They do a thing out of Tokyo. There we go. That it's all these places in Japan you can travel to and see. And I really want to go to Japan very badly, of course. But I learned they had two different hosts, and one of the hosts, you could very much tell they knew Japanese, but they hadn't spent a lot of time there. Whereas the second host, this guy, like, you could tell, like, he was walking into rooms and people were just talking to him, and he knew the language very well. And I realized that, like, we say, and, like, there's all these pauses and different things we do when people say things to us. He just goes, like, it worked, and they all were just like, like, I was like, great, now I know that.
Hypnotic state made himself popular in their mind.
Just, and it works. So, I want to try a wasabi peanut. It has a little bit of spicy to it, like a horseradish.
Sure, clear me right up. Maybe I won't.
Do you want to try one with the tea?
Gravel.
It actually is really good with the tea. The saltiness and the spiciness of the peanut, like, and then you drink some of the tea, like, it changes the flavor of the peanut as well as the tea at the same time.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, like when you take a sip of the tea, it's like the wasabi like goes all over the place in your mouth. Like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. It spreads out the wasabi flavor across the tongue and into the cheeks. It lessens it, so it's not like, boom, right there on one spot in your tongue, so it's like, spicy.
Kind of like doing picklebacks with a shot of Jameson.
Whatever that is. I don't
Changes
know
everything.
I don't know these things.
Shot of whiskey, Jameson,
Oh, yeah.
and then a shot of pickle juice.
Oh, okay.
It's good.
I may like that. I like pickles.
I'm a big fan of pickles, so anytime I can incorporate pickles in anything.
Yeah. All right. We've got all kinds of mysterious voices happening in the background. This is great.
You're talking to yourself.
Yeah. I'm talking to myself. Oh, the tea is so good. And I just rang my bell. There we go.
Let it go, man. I was getting into my chi was getting centered when you did that.
Oh, okay,
Thank
cool.
you.
I was talking about that before we had all kinds of people coming in. So you're going to have some more. See, it's just at the right temperature. This is the best part about, like, a good Japanese green tea. You get it brewed just right. Once it gets to the right spot, it's just like, oh, let's just keep drinking this.
Yeah,
right?
It's a pleasure to go down with.
Right, and it's
Does
just
the,
like,
want some more?
No, I'm good.
she's got the coffee.
American.
And the flavor gets nice.
I don't want to take all the fun from everyone else.
All right, so I was talking about
That's after the show when we add other things to the green tea and
yeah.
we record that.
Green tea toddy. I don't want to ruin the green tea. So I was talking about this singing bowl here again. It circles things. You know, we have all the entas and stuff, and like this is another thing, right? So if you move this in a circle too, see if we can get it to. I'll have to hold this a little bit. There we go. It's slow to build. Everybody hear that? I hope online.
That's weird.
It's wild.
Doesn't even sound like it's coming from it.
I feel like a tornado's coming.
Yeah. I'm in a movie and something bad's about to happen.
Or something just exploded. I'm like,
It could go louder too. I try to save Nikki. I usually can't play this within too close proximity and let it go full on because I mean it'll sing. It feels
really
super
loud,
super good. This is the thing, like when you're on Facebook and you see these things about like, oh, these Tibetan people or something, they moved these rocks with these things. Like this is what it was. Like these bowls and horns and things they've made that use vibration. You know, you get enough of these in a room, you could actually like cause some stuff. I mean, if you had like 20 people ringing these, you could probably make some stuff vibrate, move, and
about some
stuff.
Tibetans moving big boulders by using them.
You can actually see the matcha in the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that we're down at the bottom, you can see the matcha, which is the powdered green tea. Now, maybe, if the show keeps going on long enough, I might do a matcha episode. Matcha has a very specific technique for brewing and making. There's like a bamboo whisk, and you've got to whisk it in there, kind of grind it into the thing. And I mean, you can get really generic matcha from like Starbucks and Crimson Cup and stuff. Like Crimson Cup actually has like a tropical matcha drink right now. It's like coconut and like pineapple or something. It's actually very tasty. I'm surprised. Usually the generic matcha stuff you get from a coffee shop is not good. It's like really sweet and they add all kinds of junk to it. This one's actually very good. They just let the juice do the sweetening. It's very tasty, but there's a whole ceremony, so you can look up tea ceremonies and everything. Guests are playing with the accoutrements from last week, which haven't left the studio yet. So it's the little nest for my pet rock, and mysterious hand into the show, and then we got like a train, choo choo.
It's a madhouse! It's a madhouse!
We're having all kinds of fun today.
Mental issues are coming to form now.
Oh no! I'm gonna ring the bell again.
I am your Tyler Durden.
No.
What, you're not real?
He created me to deal with his own life. He needed a wild side.
Oh, these are very tasty.
Then
So,
this wild side got domesticated.
we don't have very many comments today, so we're just gonna drink all our tea, and we're already over. We're at like 45 minutes, so we're doing okay on time. Everybody make fun of me
You did it
for
wrong. You're supposed to say,
Oh, God, yes.
That's great.
We'll go back to a little honey in here. It doesn't need it, but now that it's cooled down a bit.
I've gone through a half a jar of honey in 1 week.
I don't think I can eat honey anymore.
Well, it's a cough suppressant.
Yeah.
So
If you've had the flus.
I've been dealing with some cough all week, and then the kid's sick, and he thinks honey's the answer for everything now too. So
That's good. I drink honey when I'm sick, when I have throat problems. It's good. It's good stuff. Here, you want to
shot me up.
a little bit of honey in
Shot
there.
like the whole bottle of honey.
Just cover me in it like that
Right, we'll do
Ohio
that.
Players
And then
record back in the day.
and then we'll do a little tea in here.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me get my stirring stick here. I gotta get that stirred up for you.
You're like a cross between a bartender and a barista.
There you go. Awesome. You want to try some?
I'll pass on the honey.
Okay, cool.
A bartenderista.
Bartenderista. There you go.
Bartenderista. That sounds good.
Sounds like a place that should open up in the
Heard it first here on Tea Time. Bartenderista.
Trademark.
Yep. Boom. It is April 15th at
Trademarked
12:13.
by Dupree Chronicles.
Yeah. So Sean, we used to work with Sean a lot. We have a small little set of shows called Dupree Chronicles, one of our first YouTube adventures a while back. Sean does some crazy stuff. So,
Best part is now I can always incorporate my kid because he's just as nuts as I am. So.
yeah. That's, what was the luge one? Like,
Oh,
you got a
the
skateboard?
Walmart street luge.
Yeah.
Where I was
He got a
street luging.
skateboard and he went luging through the Walmart. You can look it up.
I think my favorite part about that was picking out the helmet
Oh, yeah.
and finding out what's under the racks at Walmart.
He's like, oh my gosh, what's under here? Because he's laying on the ground, scooting the skateboard through Walmart, through one of the aisles.
And no one stopped us.
No, they didn't care. It was kind of funny.
Probably because we were all appropriately dressed. So they were like, oh, let them have fun.
Yeah, whatever. So,
Amarin Nicole Sage says pickle juice is also really good for a throat problem.
Yes, I've heard that.
yeah, it
too.
is very good. So,
Sore muscles.
Yeah, I've been feeling a little
Super
this
electrolyte.
week, so I've been eating pickles all week. So I just posted on Facebook like a sandwich I had a few days ago. Everybody's like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Oh, it was really good. Smoked cheddar, smoked Gouda with fresh sliced dill pickles and some hot sauce."
I haven't eaten yet today, so don't push too hard.
Oh.
The bear will start getting hungry.
Well, we're gonna have to figure that out. So have to figure out some sustenance here in a little bit. So we're getting pretty close. If anybody has any questions about green tea and matcha, and we actually know Danny from a long time. We were originally we both failed out of our Japanese class.
This is obvious.
We didn't fail out.
I didn't fail out either.
No, we both got permission to leave. Which is slightly different. So we both got permission to just not come back.
But I did come back.
Yeah. So Danny eventually finished his. Yeah. We were like, we need to graduate, so we took some Spanish and got out while we could. Yeah. After also trying like ancient Greek and German and I've tried French. And
my thing that I learned was that for a foreign language, you should not take Japanese at 8 o'clock in the morning. No, take afternoon, after lunch.
Get your mind right.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
Isn't that what the first CC was? Like, wakarimasu.
Kiroshimasu ne. Iya, chigaimasu. Ashita shimasu yo.
I think that was 2 or 3 weeks in. I remember specifically the first day of class, they come up and they're like, wakarimasu ka?
Wakarimasu.
Wakarimasu. I understand, right?
I
I don't understand. Like, if you miss the first day, you're like, the first day they're asking you if you understand in Japanese. You're like, I have no idea what you're saying. You're in big trouble.
I can't even tell you that I don't understand what you're saying.
It should really be, I don't understand, everything is on fire.
Can you say that?
No. That's just what it feels like on your first day.
Let's see. Tú comprendes todos los en fuego. That's really bad Spanish, but it's like, I understand everything's on fire. Todos los en fuego.
Gotta get you a job.
Yeah. When I speak another language, I end up doing a voice. That's what makes it hard for me to speak another language.
Another character.
Yeah. It's like, en fuego. Like, I don't know. Am I Antonio Banderas or something? I don't know what I'm trying to do there. I try to do like the old man, Oji-san in Japanese. Like, oh, so desu. Oh, it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
The en fuego, it's more in the nose. Whereas the Japanese is, it's much lower. So, it's very strange.
They are man. Oh, man.
Boku wa! That means I'm.
Do you remember that? Like, when we were introducing ourselves, and it comes around the room, right? So the professor comes around the room, she gets to Rob, and everybody else is like, watashi wa, gets to Rob, and he's like, boku wa!
Wait, was that on the first day?
No. That was like halfway in, and we're learning about the difference between male and female.
Like, Bokuwa, say it like a man.
Yep. So, Campbell-san, if you're out there, we're talking about you. Your ears are itching. Everybody else was using the like somewhat non-gender specific, slightly more feminine, like watashi wa, and then like we get to Rob and he's just like, Bokuwa! Say it like a man! Bokuwa! I'm like, okay, all right.
I can't picture Rob saying it with that deep a voice.
No, he does an old man voice when he speaks Japanese too. He does like a, I am so tough. And it's crazy. It's hilarious. He's not, well, I won't say that. He's not very tough. I don't think Rob's tough. I don't know. Beg to differ. He may be tough now. I don't. It's been a while.
He'll cut you.
Maybe he will.
He's been to Disneyland or Disney World.
Yeah, he was just at Disney
tough.
World. Yeah, if you're gonna go to Disney World, you gotta be tough.
Some Krav Maga just to go there.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm not going to no Disney World.
I only joined the military so that one day I can go to Disney World. Like
Nice. So 40 jumps. 40 jumps in the middle of craziness. 82nd Airborne. Just so I can go meet Mickey Mouse at the Enchanted Castle. Oh man, this is
If push comes to shove, Johnny Depp might be there with a sword. I could take it from him. You know what I mean? I'll take over Disney World.
Why not? Why not? I mean, you really got to crawl through the muck to go see Walt Disney's head frozen in a, you know.
Epcot, 1975.
I just pictured grainy footage when you said that.
Have you been to Disney?
No, I have not.
Have you been to Disney?
Yes.
Okay.
Twice.
I've been once when I was younger. So
it was weird because I went the first time I was like 10. So I was still in that, this is all like, oh. And then the next time I went, I was 17. I was like, I understand now how my dad feels. It's just so hot and there's so many people here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like 11, I think. So
and you can't bump into anybody because if you bump into them, you don't know what to say in response because there's so many different nationalities of people there. It's like you bump into them and you can say, excuse me, and that might mean something else in their culture.
Yeah.
And you'll get stabbed in Disney World.
Get stabbed.
Get arrested by a guy
Okay,
with a
Disney, you didn't hear any of this because, you know, Disney is a global force.
The Iron Mouse.
They're trashing. There's something on the internet. It's like they did at Disney, and then they said people getting cut.
A few times. I just don't ever want to be arrested by a guy with a mouse, badge.
Yeah. Or in a costume.
Mickey police are coming for you.
The Mickey police.
Goofy rips his head off and get on the ground. Kids are traumatized.
See, this is the craziness.
The guys from Men in Black have to come out there and like flashing everybody.
Change the name of the show. Laughing with some tea in your hand. The bob up and down.
You see nothing here. Carry on.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Right.
Cool. Well, on that note, I drank all the tea. I had some help. So, very good tea. Again, Genmaicha. It's Genmaicha. You can look that up and find a lot about it. You just gotta float in, right? So, and this is specifically, you can't really read it well, but it's the Yemoncha. So it's Iyemon, and that's just the term they've given for the matcha that they've added to it on top of the regular Genmaicha that happens. So, might do some more Japanese teas in the future, just because I really like green teas and the different varieties that they have. Haven't really picked a tea for the next show yet, which will be in 2 weeks. So I'll do some recap real quick. So the Columbus Moving Image Art Review, which is something that I help put on, it's a local screening event of filmmakers, animators, video artists, etc. That'll be on April 20th at 8:30 p.m. You can look it up, Columbus Moving Image Art Review. We've got a ton of submissions this time. We got so many submissions, we may actually have to tell some people, like, hey, can you submit next time? There's so many submissions that if we were to try to show everything, we would be pushing over 2 hours easy. And, like, we only got about an hour and a half of programming to make happen. So we're going to have a lot to choose from. All kinds of stuff. We have some animations, some dance stuff, some horror film, short films, some kind of spoof on a conservative right-wing children's show, which is fairly interesting. It's like this guy is like Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's like really inappropriate.
Picturing Supply Side Sesame Street.
Yeah. Awesome. So, and it's a handful of other stuff. I'll be debuting a new piece there as well. So that's April 20th, and then CBus Creatives Live. Nikki has not worked out the next guest yet. She's still working on it. She's got some people that are in the wings, like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. So, we're trying to figure that out. That'll be April 22nd.
Reality is I terrify people.
Yeah. Nikki terrifies people. If you saw the last episode, she was like, just sitting in the corner eating cookies, like, I'm gonna let this guy talk for a bit. Yep. And then she's like, I don't know what to do with my face. What should I be doing? Like,
wear sunglasses.
Right.
Yeah.
The stern looks that I was giving Matt.
Yeah. I was having technical problems in the corner here. She's operating today, and this show's a little easier to put together. The CBus Creatives show is a little harder. There's like music and screen, like all kinds of stuff going on, and I'm having some problems with it. And she's just sitting. The guy's talking next to her, and she's just like.
great.
Fight me.
Yeah. You need a neck tattoo.
Right.
What are you doing over there? I'm dealing with it. Get on with your show. Like you're interviewing somebody. Stop. Anyways, so that's Nikki lurking. So then I'll do another show. What's that? 7 days from the 22nd. So that makes 29th, right? So that'll be the day before my birthday. Hey, yeah. I turned 40 on the 30th. That's perfect. I'll do like a birthday tea time.
Hey,
I have little candles
for your birthday. I want to help you for your birthday.
Okay.
I'm going to make a suggestion for teas.
Okay.
And since it's your 40th birthday, we could do Long Island.
Yeah, I was
Long Island.
And I mean, no better than a professional mixologist who has a degree.
Sean actually does. All right, cool. So we'll figure out. Okay, next show, not technically a tea, Long Island iced tea. Why not? Somebody wanted toddies. That'll have to work for now.
Right.
So we'll do that. I don't.
Bartenderista.
I was gonna do toddies on the last show, but that was Easter, and I'm like, I don't really want to be drinking tea and whiskey on Easter morning,
right?
Like while everybody's at church after that. Let's have some toddies. No. So that'll be a good excuse. We'll do the next show. We'll do a Long Island iced tea. Why not? That sounds like fun. We'll make that happen.
Maybe we'll go New York theme, like clothes, like the '80s shiny blazers.
Maybe.
No,
I do have like a 70s like powder blue suit.
I'm going full Miami Vice.
There you go.
Yeah. With a shirt with a collar, and the collar can be well open, and I have to get a gold chain or something.
There you go.
I'll borrow Danny's gold chain. He's got a gold chain. So, cool. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. If there's no last minute questions, this will be it. The tea is all gone. We actually went over the tea being all gone. So, we're going to take it out. We're going to move to the screen, and we're going to take it out with the bowl here. So, again, this was tea time. Thanks everybody for coming.
Woo! Yeah!
Tea time. Join us next time.